Hey guys, and welcome to The Modern Brain. Happy Friday. Today I wanted to talk to you about stress and specifically brain stress. I know many of you watching out there have been following my work recently and checking out all the different things I'm up to. One thing, as you probably know, is that I am very passionate when it comes to brain health. Having suffered multiple head injuries and being able to recover them and healing my own brain, my mission is to really help teach and educate other people how you can take control of your own brain health. And so the topic of today is stress, and if any of you are watching out there, go ahead, let me know where you're from, where you're at. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in and I'll either get to them during the live today or I'll get to them afterwards. Me and my team will take a look at that for you and get your questions answered. So stress is such a big topic, and it's such, honestly for me, it's both a really interest of mine, not only just stress, but how to deal with stress and handle stress. Being a physician, an author, running a busy practice, I've learned that if I don't get my stress levels under control, I'm not going to be able to be as effective in life, nor am I going to be able to, enjoy life in general. So one of the things that when we talk about stress that is really important to understand is it's not stress that kills us. It's what we call the stress response. And what I mean by that, there's a specific region of your nervous system we call the hypothalamus. It's actually part of what we call the neuroendocrine system. And the hypothalamus, it talks to this other area we call the pituitary, and then the pituitary gland communicates with what we call your adrenal glands. And so what I'm going to talk to you about today is not how you can get rid of stress from your life, but more importantly, what are some things that you can do to boost your stress resilience and combat brain stress? And for me, one of the things that I incorporate into my life and my practices is taking supplements. So the top supplement for brain stress is the topic of today. But before we dive into that and talk about the top supplement that I take for brain stress, what I want to do is break it down a little bit more. So again, if you're watching out there, please comment. We'd love to hear from you, hear where you're from, as well as any questions or comments. We'll take care of them. I'll check them out now or after the live here. Me and my team will make sure that we get those answered for you. So as I was saying before, it's not so much stress that kills us. It's our bodies and our brain's stress response. And so we have a stress system that we call, the technical term for it is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. And what that is when we experience stress, whether it's physical, chemical, or emotional, our brains trigger a whole chemical and neurochemical reaction, as well as a communication pathway gets turned on, like the alarm system goes from green to red alert. And what ends up happening is the hypothalamus talks to pituitary to the adrenal, and our adrenal glands then release cortisol. And so cortisol is a stress hormone, and it's really important for us because it helps us deal with stress. And one thing it does, it helps, gives us more energy, it mobilizes glucose, so then we can deal with the stressors in our life. Now, in order for us to be effective, and for me, like I said, I'm super busy with writing a book and working on other projects, running a practice, and just also trying to find that work-life balance of enjoying my life. I'm not trying to get rid of stressors per se, right? There's a certain point where you should definitely get rid of the things that really don't serve you anymore. But what I'm also trying to do that's just as important is shifting my mindset about stress and also figure out what are the things that I can do to boost my stress resiliency. And as I mentioned before, one of the top things that I do for my daily practices is take brain supplements. And so the number one supplement that I recommend for brain stress and that I take is what we call Eleuthero. And you might not have heard of this fancy term before. Another word for it, or another name, is what we call Siberian Ginseng. And so Siberian Ginseng, or Eleuthero, is the #1 supplement that I take to help boost my stress resiliency. What Eleuthero is, it's what we call an adaptogenic herb. And adaptogenic herb, let's break that down. Let's unpack that for you. When we say adaptogenic, the adapt part is it helps our brains and bodies adapt to and handle stress. And so specifically, it works at the level of the hypothalamus. It helps our hypothalamus, the neuroendocrine system, handle stressors that we then are, that influence us or that we're exposed to. And what it does, it helps balance that whole, what I talked about earlier, the green to the red alert, right? So normally we want things in the green. It's like if life happens to us, or if life is happening and stuff comes up, it's not so much we want to be at the whims of everything that happens. More importantly is for us to be able to take charge of the situation and be able to handle it in a way that's safe and that's healthy and that's productive, right? And so what ends up happening a lot of the time, if we're just overburdened by stressors and we don't have a good way of handling it, either physically through the HPA axis or emotionally just by breathing and being present, then over time it can really cause a lot of damage to our nervous system. It can cause degeneration of a region we call the hippocampus, which is really important for memory. It can cause, physically, it can cause us to gain excess belly fat, and belly fat has been tied with cognitive decline. So it becomes this vicious cycle. So the most important thing we can do besides just, trying to avoid stress, I think more empowering, is to be able to shift our minds as well as our HPA axis in being able to handle stress. And so again, that's where Eleuthero comes into play, or Siberian Ginseng. What this herb does, it actually helps to balance out the overactivity of your alarm system, of the HPA axis. So if you're exposed to a stressor, right, if something comes up in your life that's you're not planning for and it comes at you or whatever, you can handle it better without going from green to red alert. Rather, perhaps you can go from green to yellow and then be able to manage that and bring your wits about you, being mindful and present to be able to handle the situation in a healthy way. So that's one of the benefits of adaptogenic herbs. Again, adaptogenic herbs, what they do, specifically my favorite, Eleuthero, it helps calm down your overreactive stress response. And in doing so, you increase your buffer against stress and you boost your stress resiliency. So this is the #1 top supplement that I take for brain stress, Eleuthero. If you enjoyed this talk, feel free to like and share it with people you think or people that you love and care about. Share this information with them if you think it'd be helpful. In addition, to learn more about me and my practice, you can go to my website, drtituschiu.com, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Bye for now.